Nancy Pelosi has dumped her positions big time. I'm going to cover which position, and there's a catch. But first, let's cover this story. FBI says North Korea is trying to hack US Bitcoin ETFs to steal funds. Now, first off, there's many things to this. I don't believe a word the FBI has to say. I mean, neither should you. I think that's pretty obvious that you should never trust any of these organizations. But here's the thing. If you're really worried about your position in the ETF space, why don't you just buy real Bitcoin and hold it with zero custodians? You can hold it on a hardware wallet. That sounds really good to me, but just keep in mind that when you hold an ETF, a spot Bitcoin ETF, you don't really hold Bitcoin. It's just a derivative of Bitcoin. Okay, also we had $1.05 trillion that were wiped away from this US stock market yesterday, and so that definitely put a lot of pressure on crypto, as you saw. But the good news is that we have had a big washout with leveraged longs. You know how I always talk about leveraged players. I just want them wiped away. Just flush them down the toilet, and that's what happened. We just decimated longs yesterday and today as well, because we dropped even further to around $56,000. Actually, I think it was we dipped in the $55,000 range, which is great. So now we have open interest, which is the amount of leverage in the system, at healthy levels, and now I'd expect a bounce around here or somewhat soon. But yeah, we've been actually covering this at learningcrypto.com, so if you want to check out my insights on there, go ahead and check out that website. All right, moving on, we also have this Mr. 100. Okay, who is he? It's who are they? It's a big whale right now, and what has happened is they've been buying Bitcoin during this dip. They bought 300 Bitcoin yesterday, which is really interesting, and now they have 72,627 Bitcoin. So there's a lot of big whales out there that are smart money, that understand exactly where we are heading. Where are we heading? I think it's much, much, much higher. Yeah, but first off, we are perfectly normal. We are now 160 days. It's pretty normal, like we experienced us crabbing along for that amount of time back in 2020. So I'm not worried one bit about this. Okay, let's move on to gold. So central banks bought a record, this is according to Radar on Twitter, a record 483 tons of gold in the first half of 2024, and that price is now breaking new all-time highs. It is breaking new all-time highs, but here's the thing, I don't believe a word that is coming out of any central bank, okay? We should never trust central banks. I doubt they are buying record amounts of gold, okay? I doubt it, because there's no way to, first off, prove this. There's no blockchain or anything, and if there was, it's going to be a closed source blockchain. So yeah, I would completely ignore it. Just realize the price is rising of gold, and that's all you need to know. And keep in mind that gold was in 2011, it was $1,900. So now we're not even double that. Interesting, huh? So what happened with Bitcoin since 2011? So you know where the real money lies, okay? You know the better money right there. We also have Starlink. So check this out. Elon Musk Starlink dominates the globe and now has 6,350 satellites and are in orbit 342 miles above the Earth, which is really interesting. So kind of scary giving Elon Musk that much power. Yeah, that's a bit concerning. What are your thoughts below? I'd be really curious to hear you, especially now that he's coming out with Neuralink as well. I think that's very concerning as well. Yeah, I don't think that should be taken lightly. Also, we have Turkey officially joins the BRIC nations. This is according to Bloomberg. So more and more countries are leaving the US, essentially being attached to the US, which is really good. It's probably a lot more freeing for them as well. And I'd expect more and more countries to go ahead and do this. This is just the beginning, especially now. I mean, just look at the political atmosphere in the United States. It's a complete and utter mess. I don't think countries really want to be involved with that as much anymore, which is very understandable. Okay, so let's move on to this news of Nancy Pelosi. So here's a tweet from Jason A. Williams. He says, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi dumped her entire NVIDIA position just a day before the news of an antitrust investigation. Insider trading, you may think, well, he says, no charges will be filed. As everyone knows, insider trading is only illegal if you're not a politician. He got a lot of comments on this, but the truth is, here's the truth, guys. And you saw a huge, or I should say a very large pullback in the AI space in crypto. Like even Tau is down to like $250, which is great. Hey, buying opportunity right there. But here's the thing, Unusual Whales comes up with a great tweet saying, hey, that's just not true. Here are a couple charts. He says there's no volume today or last week on her contracts and no disclosures. So here's the tweet from Unusual Whales. You can read the rest of the tweet. But yeah, really interesting that that there's so much news out there. It's very difficult to find something that is verifiable. So that's why, I mean, going back to Bitcoin, I definitely trust Bitcoin much more than anything that these politicians are doing. That is why, I trust math instead of politicians. It's as easy as that. Anyways, that's all I have. Like and subscribe. Talk to you guys soon.